one thing. Just one thing that I beg of you, please do not ignore this. As dance and theatre school owners, this is absolutely crucial. Hey, I'm Sarah, founder of The Dance Den, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'd love you to please hit subscribe and then the follow button so that you will always get notified of my weekly videos. I help dance and theatre school owners scale their business on their terms so they can have more money and more time and a life outside of the studio. So, what is this one thing? And I'm going to put my serious hat on here. So I have a saying in the den called cover your, 3-letter word beginning with A and ending with a double S. Okay. And why I have that saying is because it's about protection. It's about looking after your assets, as in your school, your numbers, your money, because things are not always what they seem in this world or in business. And it is crucially important that you have the right things in place. Speaking from experience, okay? Absolutely crucial that you have things in place. So there's two sides to CYA, okay? The first one is about protection, and the second one is about covering up. And I'm going to deal with both of them because they're both equally important. Okay, so the first one about protection. Let me give you examples. Okay, that's the easiest way of doing it. When I talk about CYA, it's about having the right things in place. So example one would be, say you're running an event or a show or a competition or an award ceremony or something like that. Okay, and you have a sponsor that comes in to sponsor the whole event. Brilliant. You're thrilled. You've got support. You've got extra money coming in to help you with all the expenses. Brilliant. But have you really checked into that sponsor? Have you done your due diligence? And I don't just mean like searching company's house and Google. You need to look at who runs the company. Do a good Google search on them. Do a company's house search on them. Just get a really good overview of who they are, what they stand for, what their values are, and do they align with you? Because if you have a bad sponsor who comes on and then something happens and then they go, oh, but they sponsored this event. So are they together or are they not together? You could be accidentally, by the same brush, tarnished by accident without it really happening. That's what I mean by CYA. Do your due diligence, okay? Another one could be that you are getting a guest teacher in. Now, I have a whole checklist for this for my members in my membership. You need to do things like check their references. You need to share your school's values to make sure that that person knows when they come in that they are aligning with your values. You note I have said values twice now, and this is because it's really important. If you get a guest teacher in who is heavily into pushing and shouting and, yeah, go do this, get your leg higher and all this business, and your school is very much like, yeah, give it a try. If you can do it, that's fine. If you can't, don't worry about it. We'll keep working on it. You'll get there in the end. The two don't align. And those children will come out going, what the hell is that all about? Do you know what I mean? So you need to make sure you're all in alignment. And again, with a guest teacher, get the contract in place to make sure that, are you giving them a deposit and then they come on board? And are you just doing a contract with payment after the class? All those things need to be figured out so you know exactly where you stand so that you don't get the whole guest teacher not showing up or guest teacher turning up, rocking up in the morning and going, where's my cash then? So it's about clarity of that process. And again, your due diligence in making sure that everything's in place. Another example would be your T's and C's. Number one, are they legal? Okay. I absolutely advocate Lucy Legal's dance pack. Again, if you're a Dance Den member within my membership, Scale Your Studio to Success, then you actually get an almost £200 discount off her legal pack That's one of the discounts that are included in my membership package. And it just means that you get the right wording on things like refund policies and stuff like that, just to make sure that you're not accidentally breaking the law. Things like what happens if you have a snow day, or it's the what ifs. Terms and conditions are all about the what ifs. You don't want to think about what if this happens, but I need you to think about what if happens. You know, I never thought about the building that I use for my classes for 14 years burning down overnight. That happened. And I'm like, now what? Now what do I do? You know, then I had to go and figure out, right, you know, I managed to find another venue, but it took me 2 weeks in which to find it. Was there anything in my terms and conditions that said, under circumstances, whatever that was, I will refund you, or I will hold it over, or whatever. Yeah, for me, it was there, thankfully, but is it in yours? You don't want to think about these things, okay? Because we're all, I know I'm certainly very trusting of everyone, okay? But I urge you to think about these things. Okay, so let's flip it to the other side, okay? So from the point of view of the CYA in terms of covering up. So like, say you get a complaint and you don't deal with it, okay? You can have customers who absolutely will become raving fans who complained. Because if you can turn that complaint into action, they will become your raving, your one and all customers will stay with you hardcore to the end because they felt heard. Okay, so don't cover it up, deal with it. Another one is a member of staff, if they're not doing something that you've asked them to do, especially if you've done training on it, or you've given them the list of expectations and you've reminded them on these things and they're still not doing it. Don't bury it under the carpet, because it will become a bigger problem, because they will think, I'm getting away with it. It's fine. I'll just carry on. When it's not okay, the whole thing will bubble up to the surface. Has to be dealt with. Okay. Another scenario would be, that'll do. I call this the stuff it scenario. Oh, stuff it. That'll do. Please be diligent. Okay. If you went to a court of law, I didn't know is not an excuse. You have to take this responsibility as a business owner really quite seriously. So I've given you an analogy to help you with this, and it's called forward. W, but in the short form, FWRD. Okay. F stands for foresight. Have the foresight to think ahead. What if? Okay, and have worst and best case scenarios. Okay. W means warning signs. There are always little warning signs. Something's not quite right. Please don't ignore them. Okay. R is for reckon. I reckon that'll be all right. Will it? And D is for diligence. Do your due diligence. All right. So write that down. FWRD. Foresight, warning signs, reckon, and diligence. Okay. All part of CYA. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.